We know that struggle, that overwhelming pile of games left on your hard drive or your shelf. Conquer that pile and don't quit. Today's August 4th, 2017, and we're joined by Chris Case of the Game Case Show. Join us as we talk streaming, look deep inside his pile, and discuss how he tackles
the pile of shame.
Welcome one and all to the support group for those struggling underneath the weight of their growing pile of video games. My name's Rob and I go by Chai Tea out there in the gamer world, and with me tonight to help encourage you to keep up the fight against that growing pile are, well, one of my co-hosts anyways, Pete. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you. Always good to be here, and sometimes bring games that I actually beat with me.
Yes. Spoiler alert. Something that hasn't happened in months has occurred. Stay tuned for that.
It's a shocker.
Yes. And our guest tonight, picking up streaming in World of Warcraft as he stumbled around as a new Brewmaster monk, but he has branched out quite a bit since then. He's host of the Game Case Show, Twitch manager for StackUp.org, and streams a ton at twitch.tv/thegamecase. Friend of the show, kilt-wearing maniac, and all-around ball of energy and awesome. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm super excited to be back here for the very first time ever.
Absolutely the first time that we've talked with you. It's great to meet you for the first time.
It is. I shall always remember this first time.
It's not like we had any sort of technical thing where we're doing this for a second time at all. It's fantastic just, getting you on to the show for the first time. It's great.
We'll call it a dress rehearsal.
He did get undressed a lot during that one, so
that's
the
true.
Kilt came off, so yeah.
It's true. I
That's
had to have wardrobe changes. Okay, I have to maintain this facade, and to do that, several wardrobe changes are needed off the course of this audio podcast.
Well, Chris, again, welcome to the show, and let's get right into the interview. So, first question we ask everybody is, how big is your pile of shame?
So mine's not as big as some may be. I got into PC gaming about 2 years ago. My current pile of shame on Steam is 280 games.
And that's just over 2 years?
Yes. Less than 2 years. December will actually be 2 years.
I think he's on pace with you.
It's an impressive trajectory, but can you maintain that?
I'll tell you what, if Humble Bundle keeps up, yes, I will. It's accelerated, because now not only do I do the Humble Bundles, I do the Humble Monthly, and oh my gosh, I love paying U.S. American folding paper dollars for 15 games that I'm probably never going to touch.
But sometimes they do have cool sort of exclusives that they provide with Humble Monthly too. I'm trying to think of some of them. They're sometimes weird. There was like Catgirl Without Salad that I don't know if they released that outside of the Humble Monthly, but it is a dangerous way to accumulate a huge number of games every month.
Oh, it's wonderful. Like, I've loved some of the games that have come through it. The Stellaris and Off-World Trading Company. Dirt Rally was super fun. I found a lot of games that I like, but it's like a Humble Bundle. There's a game that you really want, that you really buy the Humble Bundle for, and then there's 14 other games.
Well, your target for your pile is 773 games. That's where I'm at. So when we come back in a year, I expect you to be pretty close to that.
I'll tell you what, and during this near 2-year period, I was gainfully employed for only 2 of those months. So I'm back to earning a paycheck. So it's time to punch the skinny pedal again. We need to get this steam train rolling.
Oh my gosh! Crank the fun meter to 11. All right.
Yeah, that next Steam sale is going to be extremely dangerous for you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, already just last night I picked up a brand new game, Little Nightmares, while I was streaming. Like, I finished the game that I was playing. Normally I would go to my library, but somebody was like, you gotta play Little Nightmares. I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy Little Nightmares, yeah. I will finish that though.
It's very cool. I haven't finished it yet. I started it a little while back. You're liking it so far, though?
I'm really enjoying it. I only got about 2 hours in, but I love the art style. It's really entertaining, and it seems to be just the right level of like puzzling. Like I feel like in horror games, I don't want too much puzzle to take me out of it. Alien Isolation did that. I found parts where I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
And Little Nightmares, at least so far, has, challenged me but not taken me totally out of the game to like, okay, I need to alt-tab and go find a guide because this is ridiculous. Hello, Silent Hill.
Right.
What are you talking about? Some of those very intuitive Silent Hill puzzles, but oh my goodness. Well, so that's what you're playing now. I guess looking back in time, maybe when you were a kid, for instance. I know you're a kid inside still, I'm sure. But what sort of video games did you play when you were in your younger years? Not that you're not young, man. I'm just saying all kinds of bad things, probably.
I'll tell you what.
You're old. That's what he's saying.
I am as old as I have ever been. This is a fact.
And hopefully,
in fact, you're a little bit older now.
Yeah. Indeed. So I cannot remember not having a gaming console. Like I can remember distinctly receiving my NES for Christmas. Like I can remember unwrapping it. I still remember the box like vividly and how excited I was. And it's actually one of my earliest memories. But I mean, I was playing on I don't even know what type of computer we had back then, but I remember playing like text-based MUDs and Kingdom of Craws, Atari games, and then with the NES came, the wonderfully titled games like Golf and Karate, and like just games that they didn't even try; they just named them after what it was. They kind of had to tell you what it was because you might not get it otherwise. Right. They didn't have enough pixels to create the story. But no, growing up, some of my highlights were Tecmo Bowl. Dragon Warrior was the game that really made me fall in love with video games. And then everything. I've owned every console from Atari up to the current gen. I still have all of them, and I have every game that I've ever purchased. So I have quite a pile of shame of cartridges laying around as well.
Well, that's you didn't make the mistake many of us did and sell off at some point. Like I got rid of my Nintendo.
Know. Is that really a mistake, though? I mean, it's a frame of mind, right?
You haven't succumbed to the mental disorder known as hoarding. Is what happened?
Oh, I have now.
Let's talk about that. You have all those consoles. So how often do you actually go back more than one generation?
I do every now and again. I'll get a bee in my bonnet and I'll go plug in the Nintendo. Like I can still play NES furiously for hours. I still have my trackpad, my Power Glove, the gun to play Duck Hunt with, and all my peripherals work. And so I will find myself going through. Oh, it's a lot of fun. I will say that there's generations that I skip. Like, I can't remember the last time I plugged in my GameCube, or my N64. My PS1 does come out sometimes. I have 3 PS2s, cause, why not? I do find myself going back, although now that I've caught myself into streaming, I find that happens less often because I have a very small opportunity to game when not streaming.
You do a lot of streaming, so you do a lot of story-based games, but I know you also play a lot of unbeatable games, so ones that continue on, like MMOs. I know you were big in the World of Warcraft for a while there. So what are the major unbeatable games right now that draw you away from your pile?
So World of Warcraft has come back into my life, which is both a blessing and a curse. The wonderful Thist from the Lagging Balls podcast talked me into rolling a Horde character on her server. So I'm doing that now. I'm playing an entirely new game, complete with spikes and
lots of spikes,
ugly races. And
I know that they're at least 2 females.
This is true, and I'm playing a female blood elf, and it's a PvP server, so that's new to me. outside of WoW, Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen, two massive space MMOs, it's no pun intended, but they're massive black holes to just fall into.
Right.
And those take up a lot of my time. Those will never be beat.
Have you ever tried those in VR? Any of those space sims?
I am scared too, because I know I'm gonna have to upgrade all my stuff to be able to play and stream in VR. And
yeah, that is kind of the challenge, I suppose. The hardware requirements are.
And honestly, when you're watching people play VR, it's nausea-inducing. Like, it's so herky-jerky compared to when you're using, like, the mouse and keyboard or controllers. It's kind of like, ugh, I like watching the reactions of people in VR, but I don't like watching the VR screen very much.
Yeah, it's one of those things I noticed that I became conscious of as I streamed, because like normally when I play, I'd like be sitting around and like, you just kind of wiggle the mouse and like you're thinking about something or trying to find something and you're like jerkily looking around, and that's what VR ends up being like. I've found that I've gotten a lot more steady with the way that I do things, especially from watching, like, my wife is starting to play video games, and watching her, I'm just like, oh, I can't look at the script. What are you doing?
Yeah, Lady Chai ended up watching me play Portal 2 for a little while, and she started to get nauseous because it's just like you're bouncing around. When you start getting to the ones where you're just like bouncing between walls, shooting portals, like she was like, okay. So
that's a whole perspective on this I had not thought about, I guess. I haven't usually... Having an abundance of viewers has not been a problem for me, so nobody's complained about being nauseous when I'm playing, but I almost certainly fall into that same trap where it's just like not very cinematic looking. It would probably look more like an ant was playing it or something, just sort of...
So these unbeatable games, how much time does it take out of your gaming time? What's your ratio of playing beatable to unbeatable games?
I've worked on it being a lot better. It was World of Warcraft when I first started playing was a 60-hour-a-week job for me. Mm-hmm. Like that was all I was doing.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
And then I discovered Steam, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's other games on this magical computer box? This is awesome. And I think it was like the first Steam sale. It would have been the spring sale in 2016. I went nuts. I probably spent $60, and everybody's familiar with Steam sales.
So that's the whole library, pretty much.
Yeah. That was 200 of my 280 games. But no, I've found myself, Elite quickly became like that as well. And now I tend to limit myself to 1 to 2 days a week so that I can actually play games. And by play, I mean actually attempt to complete and, progress through a story and actually do something rather than, I need to go grind X in Warcraft, so I'm going to go do Y again.
Yeah, I can imagine that since you do streaming, you have a whole new level of challenges to not be playing the same game, doing the same thing day after day or week after week. Like, I imagine your viewers want to see kind of the new hotness and new games, other games.
Oh, yeah. Well, I discovered very quickly that nobody wants to watch me play World of Warcraft. If you're not a Mythic World First Raider or someone of that caliber, or Towley, or Bajira, which can we all just agree he's hunky? Like nobody, love you, Bajira. Nobody wanted to watch me play WoW. There was going to be no future in that. So that quickly led me away from that. Elite is wonderful. Their community, however, is extremely insular. You can have 100 people watching you play Elite, and you think, oh man, I have all of these viewers. And a lot of MMOs are exactly like this. I have all of these people that are really interested in the content that you create. No, they're not, because it's an unbeatable game. That's all that they play, and that's all that they're interested in. So a lot of streamers in some of these unbeatable niches find that when they walk away from it, nobody comes with them.
Right.
And that isn't, these games are going to go away. So it's a little bit of an untenable position and something I moved myself away from. So that keeps me from falling in the hole again. I will not start playing Eve, though. I met an old gypsy woman one night, and she foretold that bad things would happen in my life if I started to play Eve.
You don't want to play interactive Excel simulator?
I totally do. That's the problem. Like I would absolutely love that.
It just sounds like it's awesome to read about. I'm not sure I would ever actually want to play Eve, though. It's just I don't know. It makes for some cool drama.
Yeah, out of the probably millions of hours that players have played, you can find a few examples of 5 to 6 minutes total out of all these hours played that are just like, holy crap, I can't believe that happened.
But those are the magic moments. Like I've been able to be a part of some of those events in Elite, and it doesn't have near the back end political. Like, I mean, when Eve started, it was literally like the U.S. versus Russia. Like, and then like France had a small faction, and like Poland had some people doing that. Like it's crazy. Like it's like world politics played out in space with spreadsheets. But I will say, like, being part of one of those moments, like we had one of those in Elite with my alarming, or not in Elite, in Warcraft, with my alarmingly amazing performance in the all monk world first HFC raid.
Hi, Ma. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Ma.
Yep. Yeah, you were a fantastic tank. You made sure that ground did not come anywhere near us.
Nobody got hurt by the floor. I promise you that. I tanked the crap out of it.
Oh my gosh. Takes talent. That's a big target to have to protect people from, the planet. My goodness. Yeah. So do you feel like you even get to pick your own games to play anymore, or is it all dictated by the streaming viewers these days?
You know, I waffle back and forth on that. Some days I feel like I really want to play something else. But there's games that in any streamer's community, if you're a first person shooter guy, you're probably not going to get away with playing Stardew. Although people love that. And I've played it, and I always trashed it, but I really like it. No, but it's yes and no. I do put some thought into what my viewers may or may not want to watch. However, it's not going to be a good stream if I'm playing a game because I feel like I need to. So even if it's a bad decision numbers wise for me, I'll go play something else. Like if I don't feel like playing Fallout, I'm not playing Fallout that day. It's not going to happen. We've got nearly 2,000 follows in the last 30 days off of Fallout.
Wow.
It's been alarmingly good for my channel. Monday of last week, I played Hearthstone all day. Nobody came. A couple of people showed up, and thank you for that. But it was, I was like, I want to chill and play Hearthstone today. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did.
All right. Well, so sometimes there's still some free will in the universe.
Oh, yes.
Well, I guess speaking of free will, are there any games that you were never going to go back to that were on your pile, like things that you tried and you just decided, this isn't it, I'm not going to finish this?
There definitely has been some, and I say it with sadness. Anything before Witcher 3, like any of the Witcher series, I'm never going to get to it. There's no way, they're too big.
Pretty substantial games, and there's so many of them.
Yeah. And that's what I really think that answer. I could name a bunch of games, but the bigger games, the games that you're going to be thinking, 5-6 days of playtime into, I've had to just kind of come to grips that I won't be playing them. Because I don't have 5 days of game time to commit to something that I bought 2 years ago because it sounded like a great deal.
So no JRPGs for you then?
No. I have never put my hands on any Final Fantasy game, and I probably never will. Although I want to try the new Korean boy band simulator one that they have out now.
Hey, there's cooking too. It's not just a band.
And fishing. Cooking and fishing.
Oh, is there fishing? Wow.
Band's gotta
There's
eat.
fishing.
Okay. There's
And gonna be
fishing, I'm
fishing
in.
VR now.
I'm totally in if there's fish. I've been looking for a good fishing game. I need to finish Duck Dynasty, which is actually a darn passable game.
There's a Duck Dynasty game?
There is a Duck Dynasty game, my friend.
Where does it start?
It is
when?
officially licensed and has all like the characters and like actual like clips from the show. And it's you're one of the, I think you're the youngest Robertson. Like you're like a cousin or something like that, and you come out and just hang out with everybody and do redneck stuff.
Oh my gosh, I want this to be sort of like Night Trap, some sort of FMV game that
Yeah.
save the Duck Dynasty. I don't know.
Oh man. All right, Chris. So, what is the game that you are most proud of having completed?
Fallout 4. I just finished Fallout 4. I'm playing through the last bit of the DLC right now. I'm playing through Nuka World. But we finished the main story, and that was... It's not the hardest game. Like, we walked through it in normal mode, and I didn't use any mods, but it was... It has been a long time for me that I think I have 6 days into it right now.
Okay.
Like 6 days and some odd hours. It has been... It's just a phenomenal journey. And it's rare that I sit down these days and spend that much time with a game, and I'm really proud that I saw it through to the end.
Was it the story or the world? Was there one particular aspect that brought you back to it and sort of drove you to completion there?
His viewers.
Yes, damn sure the viewership that we were getting. However, yeah, and my viewers just wouldn't let me play anything else. They're like, "No, you're gonna play Fallout. Fallout's awesome." All right, I guess I'm playing Fallout. No, but I played less Fallout 4 and more Settlement Sim 2017, and I did all the things and all this, and I like hung decorations, and they all have little garden gnomes and big flamingos and patio furniture, and it's so ridiculous. It had nothing, but every now and again I'd have to be like, oh yeah, I guess I need to go do a story mission now. Because people would come in and be like, why are you doing anything other than the settlements? What's going on? But really the story of that game and some of the moments that happen, I won't say organically because it's obviously scripted video gameplay. But some of that, like you just bump into somebody and then they have this awesome story that sends you to the other side of the world and you just do this awesome quest and then you feel good about it. Or you murdered the entirety of a faction. And you giggle the entire time you're shooting them because it's so much fun, and then you take a step back and realize what you've done.
What have I become?
And then you
Sorry,
keep going.
Railroad. Yeah. Then you move on.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's props to you for that. I've never completed a Fallout game, going all the way back to Fallout 2. So I tend to get distracted a lot.
I found Fallout 3 too open world for my tastes, which is the whole tenet of that game. But I essentially walked out of the vault. They said, go to the settlement. And I started to go towards the settlement, but I saw this thing out to the west that looked interesting. So I walked out to the west, and this mutant came and knocked me past the other settlement. And I was like, go play Rocket League, you know.
My dumb Fallout story that perhaps exhibits my behavior best was I got to play it at Penny Arcade Expo before it came out. They had that up here, Fallout 3. And it was first time seeing it. It was like, oh, sweet. So I finally get up through the line to the station. And instead of going to the story quest, I just ran off in a random direction. And I just kept going. My entire time playing Fallout 3 before it was released was just me sort of running in a random direction to see what was out there. It was like, maybe something cool. All right, your time's up. Damn it. Is there something on your pile that you that is the number one on the hit list, the thing you want to get to?
So I think now that I'm done with Fallout 4, I repeatedly, and I don't know why people feel the urge to go in to Twitch chats when somebody's playing a game and then tell them how much better some other game is. Kids, that's not cool. Like, But whatever. I have evidently learned through the beration of Twitch friends that Fallout New Vegas is supposed to be even better. And I do have 109 minutes in that game.
Oh, you're almost done then.
Yeah, almost like Chai's story. I went into the game, like, found out I'm totally foreign to Fallout games, period. So Fallout New Vegas was my very first attempt in August of 2016. And I went into the game, like, wandered around, did some of the beginning quests, ended up in this town where, like, I'm helping this guy and there's some, like, bad guys. I'm guessing raiders, bandits, whatever. Insert random bad guy. So random bad guy goes to attack us, and I accidentally shoot other dude who looks really like random bad guy and happened to be standing in front of me with a gun drawn. So I accidentally shoot him. The entire town tries to kill me, plus the raiders. And I reverted my save. I reloaded it. I tried again. And I was an hour and a half into the game, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. This is stupid. Fallout is stupid. So now I want to go back and play Fallout New Vegas with a little bit more knowledge of not shooting the good guys.
That was one.
Or shooting the good guys,
That's right.
However you want to play it.
It's you can choose your own adventure here. You can just go right ahead and be the killer you've always wanted to be, apparently.
Right.
I did try a little bit of New Vegas myself too, but I think probably because I came right off of Fallout 3 into that, I'd had enough Fallout for a little while, so it didn't stick with me. So I wish you luck with that one.
Thank you.
All right, so we call ourselves the Pile of Shame because there's a lot of shameful things in our pile that we should have beaten by now, right? What is top of that list? Which game are you most ashamed is still there?
No Man's Sky.
I don't think you should be ashamed of that game. I mean, you should be ashamed of that game, but not ashamed of the yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So that game versus the hype meter, that game, like, measuring that way, it was crap. I'll give you that. But that game on its own as a standalone game, take away all that, like, peel back the hype, go a couple layers deeper in the ogre, and yes, it's a Shrek joke, folks. That game on its own is actually a whole lot of fun, and probably better than a lot of games that we would call good. But it was a product of its own media marketing machine, selling us a bill of goods that was just too good to be true. Mm-hmm. And I will probably never get to it. Because nobody wants to watch it. Everybody's so angry. Like people are. I feel like I could go to someone's house and run over their cat, and they would be less angry with me than people are about No Man's Sky. Like, this is personally morally offended people's core being.
I guess I hadn't paid much attention to the actual videos and hype leading up to it. So I bought it without really having those high expectations myself, and I actually really enjoyed the game when I played of it. But it's
I believe what you called it. It wasn't No Man's Sky. It was Name Thieves Steve Simulator.
Well, yeah, there was an entire planet where everything was variations on Steve. Maybe one or two planet, maybe every planet. I know. So I apologize if anyone ever found Steve, if they didn't reset it, but... But no, as far as it's like, it was the parts of these open world first-person games that I liked, which was you run around, you find cool stuff, and you get tired of it, and okay, well now I go to a different planet, and I do it all over again. So it was just, it was sort of mellow and entertaining. It was chill. Although, admittedly, I'm not sure I would have played as much of it if there hadn't been that sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a glitch. Maybe it's where you like melee and sprint and jump, and it let you go really fast. If that hadn't been in there, I probably would have given it up. But I haven't beat it either, so I'm right there with you. Ashamed for all the wrong reasons. I don't know. I guess in your gameplay and career, do you focus more on console or PC for your gaming? And I guess if you're a PC gamer, do you tend to use the keyboard and mouse or the controller more?
So I'm definitely a PC keyboard and mouse guy. Although I have a HOTAS, I have pedals, I have some of the accoutrements of being able to play some different type games. One of my dreams is to actually get the full steering wheel, pedal, and shifter to do American Truck Sim.
I was going to jokingly say that, and then you actually did.
I love Truck Sim. I did.
Oh,
so
you
no,
two need to get together.
I did an entire stream where I wore an American flag T-shirt and a little American flag bandana.
And by entire stream, I kind of talk like this, and we just had fun out on the road.
It was a good time.
That's amazing.
No, but I'd love to have the farm simulator stuff. I do, however, I recently received a PS4 from a member of my community. Thank you so much, HP Darkman. He sent me a PS4 with the Uncharted bundle, and having not been part of my non-PC pile of shame would be all the PS4 exclusives. I wasn't in that console generation. With the PS4, I've been an Xbox guy. So it was, it's really cool to get to go through some of those.
Yeah, the PS4 has the better set of exclusives for sure. This generation anyways. I was much more an Xbox person last gen, the 360. I had both, but I played the 360 a lot more. But now I've got both of this gen, and I have literally, I think, 3 games, one of which I haven't opened for the 360 or for the Xbox One, and for the PS4, I've got 15 some odd games that I've played. So it's much better this time around.
Can I complain just for a moment? And one of the reasons why I don't play my consoles more, Sony and Microsoft both. Could you get your shiz together? I can buy a 60 gig game on Steam, and it's on my computer, and I'm playing in 15 minutes. PS4, set that thing and go to bed, brother. It's like a George Foreman. Set it and forget it, because it ain't happening anytime soon. Like, why do people? Is anybody buying digital games on consoles? Because I can't imagine the gratification of buying a game to play it like on Tuesday.
Right.
Like,
yeah, even the smaller games. Like, I had deleted Rocket League since I played it on the PC now, but then I had a kid come over essentially, and I didn't have really many kid-friendly games, so I was like, all right, let's download Rocket League, play that. And so I set it, and it's like 5.9 gigs. I'm like, all right, that should be done in no time. Yeah, 4 hours later. Like, yeah, I agree. It's downloading games is utterly terrible, and I don't know if that's a slow hard drive on there or the distribution system or combination, but yeah, get your shiz together, as Cuddle said.
yeah. Please.
It just builds that appreciation for the final product, so that you spend all that time really anticipating the incredible gaming experience.
And this is why I now, for the PS Plus games that you get free every month, I have the PS4 always kind of on in the background, that kind of semi-on state, and I buy them at work and say download the PS4, and it's there when I get home. So
Yep.
There's that, at least. Are there any games coming up that you are super excited about?
Oh my good Lord, yes. I'm a gamer, so the answer to that question is always yes. My dream game could be in my hands right now, and I'm excited about the next one. This is the nature of gaming. Destiny 2. Dauntless, which is kind of a free-to-play Monster Hunter-esque game. Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers.
Did you get in the debate on that?
Oh, yeah.
I actually was in their tech alpha. I've been playing that one so Cliffy B, formerly of Gears of War fame, that is now designing Lawbreakers, sat on the board for StackUp.org. So guess what certain military charity that I work for Guess who got a whole stack of keys to be playing that for quite a while, and I have loved that game, like absolutely love it.
So it's a class-based shooter kind of thing, right? Is it? I don't know very much about it.
Is that the one
kinda
that's
like
kind of like a
Overwatch.
mix between Tribes and Overwatch?
Yeah.
Jumping and flying. Okay.
Yeah. They're doing a lot of cool things with gravity mechanics. Like part of the map won't have any. We'll have like very low gravity. So you're like running, and then you jump and kind of float through the air in like one part of the map, and just really cool stuff. Really neat and fun classes. Really excited to see them. I believe they released this week actually.
Oh,
I'll have to check that out. Hopefully there'll be a trial or something like that, because it's not free to play. I'm guessing it's
No.
yeah.
No,
think so.
it's a purchase game, and I want to say it might even be a full price game.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if it's quality, Overwatch did that, right? I mean, their
it is
Origins
$30.
edition was
30.
well,
Okay. Yeah.
It's
a
in
little
the
cheaper than
pain
Overwatch,
threshold.
so- Yep. Yeah, I'll have to watch some videos and watch you stream it and see if I like it.
There you go.
All right. Anything else you're looking forward to?
Sea of Thieves. I believe I have that one right. There's like 3 pirate games all coming out at the same time. Like it's like somebody got together, like somebody got together at a bar at a convention, and a bunch of devs were like, "Woo, let's do shots! Yeah, tequila, awesome! We should make a pirate game. Man, that sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna make a pirate game too. Oh, bro, you're making a pirate game? I want to make a pirate game." And like they all decided to just make like. I don't know what it, like we haven't had this many pirate games before, and there's legitimately 2 or 3 full release pirate games coming up. Believe Sea of Thieves is the one that I'm super excited about. It's a pirate based MMO. Super cool concept. So imagine WoW, but you're a pirate. Like WoW with eye patches and peg legs. I'm totally into this. And then of course you're not a gamer if you're not excited about Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Does that actually have a date? Or is it like sometime?
Soon TM?
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, right? I guess it's been eagerly anticipated since... What year did the Red Dead 1 even come out?
That was a while ago.
Oh, it was 360. Yeah. So it was last gen.
It's been a while.
I mean, I think Xbone's been out for like 4 years, 5 years now.
Has it been that long? Man, this is scary. This is scary when things
and
start
I've
being
bought
so...
3 games for it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I gotta ask, which platform you getting Destiny 2 for? PC?
I will probably end up with it on all consoles, to be fair.
Yeah, that's dedication. Well, so yeah,
Ooh, hold on. This was a couple minutes ago, but I actually just looked this up.
Oh.
Red Dead Redemption came to PS3 and Xbox in, get this, May of 2010.
Oh, jeez.
7 years, huh?
7 years. Good Lord. We are old, gentlemen.
It is very scary thinking back to some of these things. I'm like, that couldn't have been more than a few years ago.
Yeah, that just came out. What are you talking about?
It was almost a decade. So I guess to that end, for people like me who have 10 plus year old games on our pile, do you have any support or strategies that you could recommend for working stuff off the pile? You seem to be doing better than I am.
Well, if that's your goal, if you're like, hey, I want to cut down on the pile, which that's, I'm sure, why you're listening to this show. Be intentional with your time. And, if there's a game that you're really enjoying, like for me, it's been Fallout 4, but you want to cut down on your pile, give a day to I'm going to attack this game, and every day every Tuesday, it's going to be my pile of shame day, and I'm going to work on a game until I'm done with it. Period. No questions asked. It's going to happen. Or, extremely unpopular in this crowd opinion, don't worry about it. Just have fun. Play video games.
You're not supposed to tell people that. Don't tell people that.
We'll delete
don't
that be ashamed
post.
of your pile.
The opinions of our guests do not express the opinions of the Pile of Shame.
No,
or
this
its
is
hosts or its
this
content
is-
distribution network.
This is 2017, gosh darn it. We need to stop pile shaming. This is embarrassing. We're an evolved species. It is okay to pile. Okay. No, but be intentional about it, and just I mean, I think a lot of us haven't finished it because we're very we let our ADD or whatever version of that you want to actually have like kick in, and we play a game and then we go and play another game. Like, just start finishing games. It'll happen.
So we know the next Steam sale is going to be a monumental disaster to your wallet. But what about the most recent one that just happened? Did you buy any games? And if so, or if not, did you have any sort of internal debate or dialogue with yourself, a struggle about whether to actually hit that purchase button?
So I'll be honest, not the most recent one, but the one before that, I utterly disgusted myself. I filled my cart up with all the games of which I desired. I was ready to click the buy button, and I was like, I'll do it in the morning, because I wanted to actually sit down, make sure they were downloaded, stuff like that. And I have 2 drives that I put games, so it was a little bit more complex than pressing the button. And so I woke up the next morning, I go and look at my cart, which was previously like $22 or something like that. And the Steam sale had ended.
Uh-oh.
And it was like all of a sudden $172 worth of video games. So I had a little bit of a faux pas. And I will admit to being a little bit of gun shy this time. I was like, if I find something, I'm going to I'm going to pick it up right away. Like no thoughts. But to be honest, the things that I really wanted never hit the sale. Friday the 13th was big on my list. As well as I want to buy Rainbow Six Siege. I really want to play that game. Tom Clancy. Save me, baby Tom Clancy. You're my only hope.
I need to get back to that game. I was playing that with our friend Chris, Pete, and that was when he had his old modem. You remember?
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, and he would drop out frequently. So we'd be playing, and we're like, all right, we're ready to breach. Go, go, go. And he's gone. Like, it's like, damn it. I'm by myself.
I still need to play that with you guys. I actually did pick that up, and then I never even... I think I bought it when it was on sale, and then I never even played it, so... Oh, no.
But now we have PUBG, so it's hard.
Yeah, well... Isn't that the truth? Holy crap. That has more hours in it than probably anything on my Steam library. Almost 70 hours, which is impressive for me.
So the nice thing, Cuddles, getting back to the Steam sale thing, the beautiful thing is in the most recent Steam sales that they've had, they've changed it now where it used to be that you had to wait until the last day, right?
Yep.
Because it might hit that daily deal or it might hit that flash sale, and you have to wait until everyone and check every 6 hours, make sure you get all your votes in, make sure you check all of your stuff and buy it when it's cheap. And now it's just like, all right, here's the sale. Everything's on sale. That's the price you're going to get. Nothing's going to change. So now you can. It's like, I see that, buy it. See that, buy it. See that. Oh, where did my wallet go?
Well, so do the cards factor into it for either of you? And these badges? These weird, like, craftables, Steam craftables?
Like our friend Pat, who goes absolutely insane with those? No. Like, I will craft the badge if I have enough, right? And if I'm 1 or 2 shy, I'll trade with Pat because he has all of them. He has 18 of each of them. So I'll do that. But no, it's like I'll go through and I'll do the event stuff, like search my queue. But I find that Discovery queue is good because I find games I hadn't heard of before and I throw it onto wish lists and stuff like that. So, what about you, Cuddles? Do you care about the cards?
I'm just looking through this right now, and I didn't even know that this metagame existed.
Uh-oh.
I have zero interest in this. This does not look entertaining to me.
I think I actually was unaware of it until Pat, our friend Pat, came and asked us to trade cards with him. I'm like,
we get
why?
so many trade requests from him. We're like, okay, here, have them. I don't care.
It gives
I'm
you,
level
it gives you-
370 in my summer sale badge. I'm like, okay, good for you. It's like,
Well, I guess
I have an emote. Okay.
I didn't realize. Like, I think that the experience that you get, like experience, air quotes for Steam, actually contributes to like how many friends you can have on your Steam list and stuff. I didn't realize there was a limit to any of that, probably because I've had it since it first came out, so
Right.
it's never been a problem. But there must be a whole aspect of this that I just am completely ignorant of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it doesn't drive me to buy games either.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just
use
sort of
Steam as
amusing.
a social media network. I use it as a gaming thing, and I use it as a social network as much as my friend is playing this game. I want to jump in and join him. So I use it for that, but Steam goes deep. You can look at the profiles and you can set recommendations and all, playlists and all sorts of crazy stuff, and you can set backgrounds and emotes and
Well, so that was all sale topics. Is there what would make you buy something when it's not on sale? What would make you pull the trigger on a $60 premium title?
So, especially on PC, I feel like that's so hard. Because you know that $60 title is going to be like $14.99 on the Steam sale. Or it's horribly received and it's $2.99. But no, I think for me it's games that I know my friends are going to be playing. So like PUBG, which I realized was not a full price title, but if it had been, Destiny 2 will be a day one or pre-release purchase for me. And it has to be a known quantity that I know I'm going to be able to get enjoyment out of, and usually enjoyment that I'm going to get outside of my friend group too. Because I don't know if this happens to everybody, but I don't know how many times I've had friends that are, oh man, you got to get this game. Everybody's going to be playing this game. Bro, dude, gotta get this. I don't know why my friends sound like they wear Affliction shirts and like drive Jeeps with their hats backwards, but this is how all of my friends sound. Dude, bro, this game, bro, dude, this game.
Dude.
And then we get the game, and a week later, nobody's playing it. Hello, The Division. Hello, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Hello, Conan. I've kind of gotten burnt out on buying games because my friends want to play them. I tend to wait and see what games my friends actually play.
Yeah, see, we have a friend in our circle that is kind of, he goes to the extreme on that. Like, we'll have a game like Rocket League or PUBG that we're going to put a ton of time into, and we play it, and we're like, this game is awesome, and we're going to be playing this for a long time, and we still play these games. And he doesn't pick it up because he thinks it's going to be a fad because he's gotten burned too many times. And then we go like 8 months, and finally we break down. I was like, just here, take the damn game, and we buy it for him. And then at that point we get burned out and leave. But no, we burned him on the Division. Like, he bought Division, and that probably is what killed him.
Yeah, that's true. We do. I mean, we sunk a fair amount of time into that game, though. But then you get to the end game, and that was where it kind of soured for all of us. I
Garbage,
think.
Yeah. Now, as part of the pile of shame method of buying games, where we buy them when they're on sale, they tend to come with all the DLC already released. But you've had a few games that you pick up day one. Now, after you beat a game and they come and release DLC, is that something that you go back to?
Fully dependent on the game. I can think of plenty of times when I haven't. I tend to, like I said, I mean, unless it's a multiplayer game for me, I don't tend to buy day one. Something like Horizon Zero Dawn. I didn't get that right off the go because I knew it would go on sale, and there's no multiplayer, so who cares? Legend of Zelda. If I actually had a Switch, I would probably be looking at getting that right now. It's in multiplayer games, I feel like I've been burnt way too many times. The only way I'll purchase DLC for a multiplayer game is if it's something that if the other people don't have to have it for you to play it. I don't know if anybody played Call of Duty back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
But if one of your friends didn't have the daggum DLC, and, you know, I was in my early 20s playing with guys that were, you know, some of them in their, like, some of them were like 16, 17. They didn't have all the DLC because they had to ask mom for it. Mom was already upset because she already spent $60 on the game. Why did she need to spend another $20? Very valid point, Mom. But... like, I think I got so burnt on that, I tend not to go back to games. However, things like Fallout 4 that I'm playing right now, I actually paid more for the DLC than I did for the game. Because the game was on, like, sale and the DLC wasn't. But the DLC for Fallout immediately adds into the game that you're playing. So if there's something like that, and it's not brand new, yes... if I had played Fallout, would I have started a new playthrough and gone back to do the other things?
Yeah,
I would have loved to, but time-wise, I mean, am I going to go back to a game that I'm already done with? Probably not.
Yeah, it's the DLC that is, like, I'm thinking like Nier Automata, for example. Like, I played that through before the DLC released, and I finished the game. Maybe it's not a good example since I had to delete my save for that game, but anyways... and then they release it and there's more story content to keep going. Is that something that comes back to? I personally don't. Like, once I finish the game, if I'm not actively playing it and DLC comes out, unless it's gets like rave reviews and this is the best thing ever and it's actually like 6 to 7 hour campaign, it's usually a no for me.
All right then. So then, just curious, do you wind up pre-ordering any games, and do you have any thoughts for pre-order exclusive items? Like, what if they threw in DLC?
See, I know that's like a hot topic and a hot button for a lot of gamers. As far as pre-order being like physical tchotchkes, first of all, I don't get it. I don't, as a man that is literally my desk is littered with like Funko Pops, and for God's sakes, I have a pink fluffy unicorn Beanie Baby that I use on my stream. Like, nice. I'm all about the tchotchkes. This is Fluffy, by the way.
Hi, Fluffy.
She is the lord of all that is evil. Her eyes will eat you. But no, I don't get paying $130 to get a plastic resin sculpture of something.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of okay with pre-order, but I feel like buyer beware. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of games that have done a lot of really cool stuff with pre-order, and then they totally bomb. I tend not to do it. There will be some games like Destiny 2. They'll have a couple pre-order bonus. I will pre-order it just to know that I have a copy. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I mean, especially as a PC gamer, I found that I pre-ordered a lot more on console. As a PC gamer, I mean, I can go to Steam day one. Like, what's the reason for me?
Pre-orders used to matter because of limited supply.
Yeah.
Because your game store would only get so many copies of the game. So you wanted to pre-order to make sure that you had it reserved. Now that's why we have all of these stupid, you get a blue coat, and if you order at GameStop, you get a red coat. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That kind of BS.
Yeah, I absolutely, I will say, I detest vendor-specific exclusives, which is probably the only reason why GameStop is still in business, the evil bastards that they are. Here, buy this game for $30, and then you can bring it back when you're done, and we'll give you 75 cents. Yeah. Not a fan. But I hate stuff like that because as somebody that's OCD about getting all of the things, I know that there's... Yeah, well, and especially games that'll be like Target has an exclusive and GameStop has an exclusive and Best Buy has a... Like, I'm not going to buy 3 copies of your stupid fucking game, but I want all 3 of the stupid little hats that I'll put on and within 5 minutes take off. But I know I'll have it.
Yeah, where I definitely draw the line on pre-order, and I will not, out of morals, not buy it, is if there is anything that gives you power, player power, especially in a multiplayer title. For example, I don't know if Call of Duty's done this, but it would not surprise me if it's like, oh, you get to use this gun that normally you have to unlock through X amount of hours of play if you pre-order. That's where I would draw the line and just not. I might even go so far as to not buy the game at that point. Send a message. That one less copy. They will never do that again.
That's it. Sorry, whoever's making Call of Duty these days. We know that you're really it's one sale away from turning the lights off on Call of Duty. Chai is putting his foot down, and you guys are going to be out on the street, you bums.
You're on notice, Treyarch.
See, I said Call of Duty, but I was like, as just an example, I don't know if they've actually done that. So you guys might be nice people, but if you aren't, then F you. Seriously, guys, stop.
No. Screw Call of Duty. Like, I'm sorry. We have Halo. We have rocket ships and laser guns. Why the heck did you guys ever get away from making good quality military-esque twitchy shooters? Like, it was their World at War was my absolute. I still play World at War.
Well, they're going back to World War II, so.
Yeah, but we're probably there's going to be like Nazi jetpacks or something. They're going to spin something off. Like
already, so.
I'm cool with zombies. I'm cool with zombies. Don't say the Z word.
The zombie thing, though, didn't they make it DLC for one of them? And that was, I don't know, that was sort of like an
they're all about the money.
Yeah, which was
and you can buy loot crates now, and it's. But here's the thing. Half of me wants to berate them for doing things like this, but quite frankly, they're making a good deal of money and people are paying it. And we just viciously berated Chai for taking a stand, but really, until people stop doing that, I mean, like if you're the guy making it and you're like, well, we could sell this game and give them all this free loot, or we could charge them $2.99 every time they want to open a box. Overwatch. But in the reality of it is they do that because people are willing to pay for it. If people weren't willing to pay for it, we'd see it go away.
It makes me scared at the state of the gaming public. PUBG. Let's take a minute to talk about that. I just made $6 in 10 minutes because I bought 2 crates and listed them on the marketplace, and one of them sold for like $4 and the other for $2. Like, and they contained one crappy piece of clothing that will probably be a pair of shoes. And people paid $4 for an early access chance at a piece of crappy clothing. What the is wrong with you guys? But keep doing it because I'm going to keep selling it to you. So go ahead and jack that price up.
This is a thing that we can do?
Yeah, so if you log in and you redeem your coins for the crates, you can sell the crates on the
Pioneer crates?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I've been opening them and like getting like sandals and dirty t-shirts.
Right, you can do the Pioneer crates, and you can do if you've played in the last couple of days, they have the Wanderer crate and the like invitational crate that they're doing for like the PvP stuff that you actually have to pay to unlock. And you can sell those on the marketplace.
Oh Jesus!
For $6, like what the?
PUBG, please don't become CS:GO.
Well, it's all cosmetic stuff too.
Yeah, it's all cosmetic
game, right?
stuff, which I'm fine with. Like if as long as they don't do something stupid. What was it? Control-Alt-Delete. They did a webcomic on this recently. It's like the ultimate fear is that I just paid my $1.99 to unlock the crate, and I got this ghillie suit type thing. Awesome. I just bought my, well, at least they're not screwing over the free-to-play gamers. And it's like, hey, I just unlocked my Pioneer crate. And it's like a big yellow thing with a target on the front.
Well, that's what the red shirt feels like in there, the Waldo shirt.
The Waldo shirt, yeah. That's the fear. Like, if they go that way, that's when I stop playing. But as long as it's just like, you can look kind of cooler when you start the game. Okay, I will still shoot your head. Actually, you'll shoot my head, but it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, as long as they don't start introducing guns or allow you to start the game with a grenade or a backpack or something like that, then I'm fine with it. All right, Chris. So, what draws you to video games as an entertainment venue rather than other mainstream entertainment?
Well, one of the beautiful things about video games is I can actually drinking while video gamesing. So I appreciate that. Thank you, video games, for not judging me. I will say I do not in the least, in any way, shape, or form, agree with, endorse, or promote drinking and driving in an actual vehicle. However, have a few adult libations and play some American Truck Sim, and things get hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. No, but so I love movies. I've always loved books, and I think video games are just kind of the next logical step. You get to actually immerse yourself in a story. You get to be the hero that you're experiencing in a in kind of just a voyeuristic way in other forms of media. Unless you're playing World of Warcraft and then somebody else gets to step in at the last second and be the hero. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. I know. No, but I think beyond that, the community, like really and truly, especially one of the big things that drove me to start streaming was just being able to play video games with people, and having them around and having the conversations and the community and kind of the relationships that blossom out of that. Watching a movie or reading a book is very much it's you and the source material. Like, yeah, you can watch a movie with somebody else and talk about it later, but you're experiencing it completely on your own, unless you're that guy at the movie theater, and don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. My wife is that guy. Well, why is he doing this? What's going on? I don't know why my wife sounds like that. But no, it's like, and I'm like, I'm watching the same film as you. We have been given the same amount of information. I know nothing. Shut up. And
the caveat to that, though, is if it's a Marvel movie, I will lean over to Shelly and say, "Who the hell is that? Who the hell is that?" Because she reads all the comics. I don't read any comics, so I'm like, "What just happened? What was that?" Like, especially like during the after scenes where they keep introducing new characters, and I'm like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, like the collector in, what was it, Howard the Duck after Guardians. Yeah, there's definitely going in with some foreknowledge or a good friend. There can be very, but like really and truly, the community and the relationships. I mean, you and I have we've broken bread together. We've stayed in the same house, and our friendship came about entirely because of World of Warcraft.
Right. And
at the time, your show, Monk Meditation. I wouldn't know you. We wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for video games. And some of my best friends I've met through video gaming, and they live all over the world. And there's really no other way for me to interact with them in a meaningful basis, other than video gaming. So I fully appreciate that. Yeah.
It's a cool social enabler, I suppose, although some communities I'm not sure I ever want to talk with.
Right.
Like the PUBG main lobby. My God.
Yeah, you log into the main lobby, it's like, how's it going, guys? And then just your ears light on fire and your headset blows up. Yep.
Yes.
Pretty much. It's a good way to learn new vocabulary.
It really is. I actually came away questioning my own sexuality last time I was in there, and had to call my mother because evidently she's done a few things that I don't want out there.
How did they know?
I don't know.
Any retro or classic games on your pile that you're still working towards? Sounds like you got some PS4 games and stuff, but and then do you still have the consoles for all of them? I think you said yes.
Yeah, I have every console I've ever had, which I think the only major console in like North America that I missed out on was the Sega Saturn. I don't own one of those. I've always thought in that
you've got your 3DO stashed back there then?
I don't have a 3DO either. No.
Well, thank goodness.
You said major console.
Taste.
Yes,
oh no.
Consoles that people actually bought. I do. I have my. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember what it's called. The handheld Sega.
Game Gear.
Yeah, the Game Gear. I still have my original Game Boy, my Game Boy Advance, my Game Boy Color. Like all of that stuff still exists, and all of it's still in good working order. So anything that I want to go back and play, like I was playing Pokemon Red and Blue on my Advance the other day. But Final Fantasy is something I mentioned that earlier that I've never played through those. I know that a lot of people it's had a profound impact on them, and that's one of kind of their defining and like one of their cornerstones franchises that they've always enjoyed, and that's something that I would like to go back and experience.
Like the first Final Fantasy, or are you thinking starting somewhere with after?
Like maybe 7, Final Fantasy Tactics. The charity that I work with, the founder, that's what he credits with getting him through his deployments. And a lot of his pictures while he's deployed in his uniform. He was an Army Ranger, and you can see in his pocket he has his Game Boy Advance. He said the only thing that he had was Final Fantasy Tactics, and he still never beat it. So we give him crap for that.
But Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, I burned a lot of hours on that game. That was fantastic. And then they brought out Final Fantasy 12 in the same world, and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And then it wasn't, and I was sad. But then I went and rebought it anyways when it came out on PS4, so I don't know.
Just a glutton for punishment?
Maybe it's better now. Who knows?
Well, I guess I think I cut my teeth on Final Fantasy 4 or 2, whatever you want to call it. It was 2 to me, but I definitely remember that had quite an impact on me, so I guess I'll be curious to hear how things go for you when you get back to one of these, if it still has an impact.
With Final Fantasy 3 or 6.
Oh, yeah.
He was big into that on the SNES, but I never really got into it. I didn't get into JRPGs, and well, I guess I played Secret of Mana, which is basically a JRPG.
Well, a little bit more actiony, though.
A little bit more action RPG, yeah. But then my friend showed me Final Fantasy 7 when that came out, and that was, hey, Grandpa, can I buy a PS4 or a PS1, please? Please. So that was, and now you go back and look at it, you're just like, oh God, this is god awful.
Yeah, that's
I think I was like the anti-weeb growing up. Like I didn't want anything to do with JRPGs. Like, and I can remember playing one of the I don't know which one. I think it was probably around Super Nintendo, around that age. And I just remember I was like, I don't know, this is so stupid. Because I remember like the cutscenes, and they had like their weapons were too big, and I was like, I just don't like that. Although at the same time, I played and loved Chrono Trigger, which definitely not like full blown JRPG, but some inspiration from that genre. Or maybe it's a full blown JRPG. I don't know how it gets classified.
It's a good game. That's what we call it.
Yep.
Exactly. But I now think that as a little bit more mature gamer, I think I could I want to go back and play him and see what I think of him.
Yep.
It is a little tough going back to the PlayStation 1 early 3D games though, because like I went and started playing through some of Parasite Eve a while back.
Oh God.
And it was hard to like. It's got the rendered backgrounds look fine, but then you've got like your character made out of 4 or 5 triangles or something.
Right.
It's just it really impressed me when I was younger, but maybe not so much now. It's a little hard to look at.
Yeah, I was looking forward to
screen.
like the Final Fantasy VII remake, the HD remake, and then they started going into like action combat. I'm like, oh God, just give me my turn-based, man. Jeez, make it look pretty. Just give me the same game and make it look really good. All right, so you travel a lot to different gaming conventions, and by a lot, I mean a lot compared to a lot of people. So since not everyone has had the opportunity and blessing to go to one of these, do you have any suggestions for someone that would be attending their first one?
Well, I would definitely say, but before I get into like practical things like drink water, Take a moment when you're at a gaming convention, and I tend to say this every year specifically about BlizzCon. Take a moment and appreciate where you are. Look around and appreciate that you're with your people, you're with your tribe. Everybody there might not be into the exact same games that you are, but they're gamers, and that even though we're gaining in popularity and visibility and stuff like that, it's not quite like when I was growing up and we got beat up for playing video games. But just appreciate it. Make sure you take a moment to just soak it all in and save some of the emotion that you'll get from it for later. Outside of that, regular convention type stuff, comfortable shoes, drink plenty of water, make sure you're eating. It's very easy to go a whole day without drinking enough, or making sure you're eating. Pro tip, for those that may or may not be on their feet all that frequently, get yourself some moisture wicking athletic socks, especially if you're prone to sweating. As well as, this is going to sound weird, but believe me, this is an old convention and banquet trick from the hospitality industry. Rub some Preparation H on your feet. It will actually tighten and help dry your skin so that you don't get blisters. Because there's nothing worse on Sunday of a gaming convention than having blisters from Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Outside of that, panels. If there's panels that you want to see, marinate on whether you really want to see them. The vast majority of panels these days are streamed and recorded and then available later. So I would say go to a panel if there's somebody on that panel that you want to connect with and attempt to ask a question. Know that you might not get to ask that question. That person might not stick around afterwards. But that's really the only reason I see. You use the rest of the time to go stand in a line. Because that's really what conventions are. They're Line Simulator 2017. Outside of that, make friends. Realize that everybody there is into, even if they're not into the exact same thing that you are, you have a way to, like, hey, what sort of games are you into? You just made a friend. It's that simple. And if you get nervous around people, a lot of conventions now, I'm forgetting the organization that does this, but a lot of conventions have a quiet room that you can actually, a designated place that you can go away and get away from the crowd. TakeThis.org actually is instrumental in running a lot of those at the larger conventions, the PAXs and the things of that nature. Don't be scared to go take a moment. But also realize that most of the people there are probably feeling the exact same way. And even if you know no one, like take PAX for example, they have volunteers called enforcers. Grab somebody if you're feeling like you're about to lose it. Grab someone. Tell them. They will help you. I promise. That's what we all have, some level of social anxiety. Even those of us that podcast and you guys hear us talking on a mic and you think, oh, wow, he's so social and so great. Like, I'm sitting alone in a room with a microphone and I have to look and interact with none of you. Trust me, I get freaked out too. So yeah, just go and enjoy it and be conscious. Go enjoy and be conscious of your health.
Yes. Excellent tips. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to discuss streaming a little bit. So how is playing games different when you actually have an audience with you? Like you're mentioning Fallout 4 and you have a whole bunch of viewers going on there. So you have an audience watching you play. I don't experience that because I get one person that trolls me when I'm playing. So how is it different?
You learn to talk a lot. The reality of it is it shouldn't be any different, but it's totally different. If that makes any sense. Like you want to, there's a popular shirt that says stream like nobody's watching. And that's silly because if nobody's watching, I'd probably pick my nose a lot more. But it's very much that it's more the mentality that you want to put on the same sort of show, whether there's 1 people or 1,000 people in your chat room, and being able to not get frustrated with numbers, being able to not get frustrated with people in chat. For me, the biggest difference is I pay a lot more attention. there's a lot going on when I'm streaming and gaming. Rather than just sitting down and getting to focus face on the game, I'm watching chat. I'm making sure people are happy. Maybe I'm running a giveaway. I have to keep an eye on Twitter. There's a lot going on, and it makes you a lot more involved. In doing all this, you still have to be playing a game and still being, mildly entertaining. So it is an entirely different experience, but it's it's not acting or I'm hanging out with friends. It's literally like if my friends were sitting on the couch watching me play a video game and we're all just giving each other crap. That's much more so what it ends up being.
Well, do you tend to play in windowed mode or anything as a result? Because, I guess my problem, when somebody actually shows up in the stream, I'm never prepared for it. And, 30 minutes later, I look over and see they said, "Look to your left." And I go, "Oh, God. Can I get back to that point?" But I'm just curious how to, managing this interaction seems a little more complicated.
So I am right now sitting in front of 2 computers and 5 monitors. I run my stream off of a separate PC, so all my encoding and uploading is handled by one PC, and then game on another. I have 4 of my monitors on my gaming PC, and then 1 on my stream PC. So my stream PC monitor, which is why you see me looking up, for those that get to see this on video or for these guys sitting here with me, I'm looking at you guys up here. And then down here would be my my moderation tools, my Streamlab, my console, things of that nature. The video game directly in front of me with my camera. On the left-hand monitor is Twitch chat. And then up, I have a 42-inch 4K TV.
That's where you put your
above
porn,
me.
right?
Yeah, of course. I actually, sometimes. But no, this is where I have. Okay, I legitimately.
I derailed him. It's off the rails.
No. I have occasionally received an inappropriate photo in Discord, and then I'm looking. I'm like, oh, I got a Discord message. Oh, wow, that's a. And then I'm like, oh crap, is this reflecting off my glasses? I have to be super careful because I don't use game capture. I use window capture. So anything that goes on my main monitor, that's out there.
Oh my gosh.
It ends up being really fun. But I could cut that. I could cut that down by using smaller windows and stuff like that to see all the things. But I think the biggest thing I can say to somebody that's starting out and is always keep up a banter as though there's someone in your chat room. You'll get used to keeping your eye on it. I remember the days of I spent months streaming with no one in my channel. And it's just a thing. And all of a sudden there'll be somebody in there and you'll talk to him a little bit and maybe he won't come back. But the next guy will stick around and then he'll throw you some money and then somebody else will show up and then somebody else. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, people want to watch me play video games. This is effing weird.
And then you have someone show up and do their homework and while they listen to our voices.
Oh, man, I forgot about that.
That was our first Twitch viewer in the pile of shame was some dude who's just like, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just doing my homework while I'm listening to you. Don't worry.
Nice.
We were like the white noise generator for him,
Right.
like Burbling Brook, game podcasts, rain.
Oh, that's glorious.
So do you ever get the chance, Chris, to sit down and play games without actually turning on your stream?
So, yes, and no. It's very rare. It really is. I stream around 40 hours a week. I think I usually do between 5 and 6 to 7 hours a day. I think I'm looking back at this week. I have like 6.5 hours, 6.5 hours, 6 hours. So I'm averaging pretty much a full-time job sitting down and streaming. Mm-hmm. I have a wife and a child after that. And now I work 40 hours a week for a charity. The good part about that is we're a charity based around video games, and I am their live stream manager. So watching Twitch is literally part of my job. So that it's not a bad gig, but I do definitely. I think the game that I sit down and I play the most off stream is Hearthstone. Because I don't really have to game. Like, I'm just kind of playing a card game. It's super relaxing. It's super chill. I really and truly, I find that when I'm not streaming, I want to get up and walk away. Think about being in if anybody either here or listening at home, if you've ever been in a customer service job and you have to deal with customers, which means you have to be a little bit more, like, not fakey cheerful unless you work at Disney. And then God bless you. But you have to be a little bit more cheerful, and that's kind of how it is. I don't put on any airs when I'm streaming. However, I might smile a little bit more than I do in person, or I definitely do my best to be extra cognizant of people. And then add to that, I have an HD camera pointing at me. So taking that moment and, the customer walks away and you get to, like, take a breath and go, and, not
what
smile.
What a dick that guy was. Yeah.
Yeah, or do that. Be like, oh, that D-bag. I'm glad he's not coming back. There's no doing that as a streamer. I mean, there is, but it's very much, it can be very emotionally and physically draining being on for 6-7 hours at a time.
And knowing that if you do end up picking your nose, that will be a GIF on the internet in no time at all.
Yes.
Or fall asleep in your chair while playing Hearthstone.
There is GIFs of all of these things. Or get off camera and do a little bit of a truffle shuffle that you don't realize that they can see. Yeah, that happened, and there's a GIF of that. Or stream in a bikini. No. That results in a lot of GIFs.
That's how you get viewers. I'm going to do that pretty soon.
You do that every Wednesday, don't you?
That's right, yes. Bikini Wednesday? Sure.
All the bikini streams. Bare butt Wednesdays.
Oh, God.
No, but I do game, but I find that it's not that I'm burnt out on gaming. It's not that I don't want to game, but sometimes I just want to be not in front of my computer. I think I'm more burnt out on just being in this position than I am on actually gaming. I find myself like going to a console in another room, things like that. My DX
Pokemon
Racer
Go
chair
or
is
something like that.
Oh, hell yeah. I love the Pogos. My DX Racer is super comfortable, but like anything, I mean, this is my hobby and my work in two different ways. Sometimes you just got to get away, and that's a mental sanity sort of thing.
Yep. All right, for someone that's getting into streaming for the first time, do you have any specific gear recommendations?
Most certainly.
Do they have to start making it look like the architect room in freaking Matrix, like you have apparently?
So if you're gonna get into streaming, you're gonna need to set aside somewhere around $6,000 to $7,000. You're gonna need to purchase at least 4 monitors. Have 2 PCs running i7 77Ks with dual 1080 Ti's, broadcast quality microphones, studio lighting, soundproof room. No, you don't. Please don't. It's sad how many of the ridiculous things that I just named that I either have or I'm going to be buying. As I look at the studio lights and the green screen. No, in all reality, I mean, fit it to your budget and fit it to your expectations. I stream for a living, and my equipment reflects that. Do you need a $400 mic? Hell no. Don't ever let anybody tell you that. I have a friend that streams on a $499 Logitech desktop mic that, like, the ones that look like they used to come with like the old HP, like when we were in high school. Like
one little like pokey stick that you can bend a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. He streams with he sounds like Samuel L. Jackson or God or insert perfect voice ever here. And I don't know how it works. I went and bought one of those mics, tried it out. I sound like shit. I evidently need a little work in post. But no, you're going to need at the bare minimum a computer that's able to play a game and stream. You want, at the bare minimum, I would say somewhere between a 3 to 5 meg upload, so that you can actually put out a halfway decent product. I would say a webcam is not necessary, but you're going to get a lot more response if you do have a webcam. Plenty of people do fine without one. I would say at a minimum 2 monitors, or get yourself a monitor and like an iPad. And guys, you don't have to go out and buy a $300 gaming monitor. Go to your local Goodwill, buy a $10 monitor. It doesn't have to be, 1440p and 60 frames a second refresh, or 60 hertz refresh. Just another monitor that you can put your broadcasting software up so you can monitor and make sure nothing's going wrong. And so that you can have Twitch chat so that you can talk to people. Outside of that, you need a mic of some kind. Like you don't need a super nice mic. And that's really it. Get yourself OBS, play around with it, and go have some fun. Allow your setup to expand as needed. Or if you have the discretionary funds, sure, go out and buy all the things. I'm saying this sitting in a DX Racer, talking in a Heil PR40, going in through an audio interface with a compressor and an EQ, and 2 webcams, 5 monitors, and a partridge in a pear tree. But
you didn't start with all that. I know that for sure.
I definitely did not. I started with an echoey Yeti in a spare room with kids' toys behind me. And the stream grew. Now, granted, my toys have grown faster than they should, and I don't need any of this stuff. But I could afford it at the time, and I like it. I have a super nice mic because podcasting, not because that's one thing. Let me dispel a myth here. Everybody looks at their favorite broadcaster that's generally a partner and has 300 people in their chat room at all times and is probably making a fairly good amount of money, and looks at their $400 or $500 mic and goes, "Oh man, I need that microphone." Let me tell you something. From an audiophile standpoint, from a guy that's been in podcasting for 8+ years now, you don't. You have the video game background noise covering up what you're doing 90% of the time. Go out and buy yourself a $35 mic. Spend less than $100. I dare you. My favorite one to suggest, if somebody really wants to call me out, is the AT2005 by Audio-Technica. It's both USB and XLR, so you can start out with USB and then grow your setup. It sounds beautiful. It's a dynamic mic, won't pick up a lot of background.
Yep. That's what I got for all of my hosts on Monk Meditation when we actually had fun. So
yeah, I take it, and it's super portable. Like, you can, since it has USB, you can plug it into if you ever want to record anything or go anywhere, or it goes with me to cons. So one of the first things that goes in my bag,
which is the big thing. You're not picking up the fan in the background, stuff like that. So that's one of the best things. All right, so I'm going to play a sounder here that Pete has not heard in months.
Wow. Yes, I did. I did beat a game since the last published podcast. I won't say since the last time we recorded, because that's not true. I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. I'm confused. No, so I wound up beating Injustice 2. I picked it up and beat it, I think, between when we last had a podcast here. So
fantastic.
I really enjoyed it, and I guess I would recommend it to people who who are either interested in the comic book stories or enjoy playing Mortal Kombat. It's got a very similar combat style.
I've got a friend who's really deep into DC, and I got it for his birthday, even though it's like he's not really big on the fighting stuff, but God, he's a DC freak, so he loved it.
Yeah, no, I'd heard good things about the story. I didn't actually play the first Injustice. I don't know if either of you guys did.
No, I haven't touched it. I don't do fighting games very much, so
because
Chris kicked my butt at it every time we played in college, so I got demoralized.
He trounces me for the most part too. But so I got this one because the story was supposed to be good, and so I've been playing it mostly for the single player. And I did actually enjoy the story. It had sort of an interesting spin on the every comic book you ever read where the hero's don't want to kill the villains in spite of.
Unless you're Deadpool, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. There's the sort of anti-heroes that sometimes make it okay. So, anyway, I guess the story in Injustice 2 sort of hinges around that question of, like, well, should you do that or shouldn't you? And that's sort of what they use.
Do you get to choose the character you're playing as for the story, or does it kind of progress and you play through as different characters each time?
So yeah, I guess there's the actual story mode. You don't get to choose your character. It just sort of evolves with the story, based on the scene, whichever side you happen to be playing as. Sometimes you'll be able to pick between two characters for a given scene or a given fight. And then, I guess I enjoyed it enough, and I liked the story enough that I went through and I replayed it so that I basically did every single branching portion, so I played as all the characters on every level where I could, and it was entertaining enough. Some of them, it's sort of frustrating. Excuse me, sort of frustrating sometimes playing that right off the get-go, because you're like, I don't know how to play Aquaman. Here you go, you get to be Aquaman. Oh, you lost because you didn't know anything. So that can be a little frustrating, but the difficulty was never such that I felt, even as a bad fighting game player, I was able to make it through the story and enjoy it in spite of my weaknesses.
All right, so if you had to give it a score out of 5, what would you rate?
Oh my goodness. Oh, see, I didn't think about an actual numbers for it. I guess I'd probably give it 4 batarangs out of 5 for this one. I'm not taking it to the 5 just because I've played it once and it was very entertaining that one time, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna be going back to it again. Yeah.
Okay.
But still, recommend it for the story, or you can watch it on YouTube. Oops, I didn't say that.
Well, congratulations on actually beating a game that puts you 1 up on Totem, so that's good.
Well, yeah, thanks. That's never going to happen again.
Right. All right. Well, Chris Cuddles, thank you so much for joining us on this show. I'm going to give you a chance here. Tell us, how can the internet reach you if they want to?
Well, you can always find me 5 days a week on twitch.tv/thegamecase, streaming, laughing, and having a good time. If you would like to reach out to me on Twitter, I am at @thegamecase, and that's legitimately what I am kind of everywhere. So pick your social media platform of choice, except for Snapchat. You can't have my Snapchat. Sorry. You can find me on MySpace and Friendster, though.
Oh man, that's kicking it back.
All right, well, anything you want to shout out as well?
Shout out you guys for having me on. Thank you so very much. And I want to say a big thank you to the co-host of my show, Turarts. She's a wonderful, incredible, and amazing young lady that I have grown to become absolutely amazing friends with. I appreciate everything that she does for me, and if I didn't mention her, I would be doing her an injustice. Also, huge thank you to StackUp.org, the charity that I kind of alluded to a couple times. They have brought me on staff as of this week. So I'm officially doing real, actual charity work for, 1 or 2, literally tens of dollars, because charity. But I'm very proud to be part of that organization, and I'm looking forward to some cool things in the future. If helping a veterans charity that helps veterans through video gaming is something that you'd be interested in, reach out to me. We have a big push coming up for Veterans Day called their Call to Arms. I'd love to talk to you.
All right, fantastic. Well, again, thank you for joining us. And guys, if you want to be on the show or if you want to provide feedback, you can reach out to show@poshame.com. You can also find links to all of the shows and our gaming profiles and more in the show notes of every episode at poshame.com. Pete, how can the internet reach us if they want to?
Well, lucky for the internet, we can all be found on Twitter. Oh my gosh. Rob is at _ChaiT. That's with a THI. I can be found at Fighting Viper occasionally. Our missing co-host, Totem, we'll still give him a shout out. He's at TotemlyDrunkCTR. He probably tweets more than I do anyway. And then our guest, Chris Case here, is at The Game Case. And then you can follow the show at POShame.
All right, guys, conquer the pile and don't quit. Tune in soon with more content to add to the pile. Our next show, our guest will be Navox. And until then, don't get smothered by your pile of shame.
I rolled a 20.